Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu 5 and this is going to be initial impressions of the Smith & Wesson 5.7. I've shot this, but when I took my range bag to the shooting range, I didn't have a mount for my GoPro, so I couldn't film it. But I did shoot it, and I thought I'd give my opinions on it. Now keep in mind, I'm not a gun expert. My interest in guns is usually the historical and not necessarily ballistics or anything like that. And I'm a terrible shot, which is part of the reason why I got this. I noticed shooting my 9mm that I've bought in the past and own, 380s, that I wasn't necessarily getting on target that well. And I noticed that with my Warthog PPK, I was doing better. And I noticed with my Ruger Mark III with the Taclight Upper, I was actually making headshots. I was reaching out to the steel targets way down range and hitting pretty consistently with my Ruger Mark III. And keep in mind, this Ruger Mark III is custom. It has a custom Taclight Upper on it. But I noticed, I was like, well, maybe I'm just shooting smaller calibers better than mid-bore and bigger. And I have been able to hit with 357 Magnum with a 4.5 inch barrel. But in general, I've been hitting better with smaller calibers that are decently sized. So I thought, well, I'll try the 5.7. The 5.7 is significantly more powerful than a 22. It's screaming out. It's infamous or famous, depending on your point of view, for being able to defeat body armor, but that really depends on the round you're using. So yeah, let's look at it. Nothing in the magazine. It is unloaded. And it's 22 plus 1. And I took one magazine with me with 20 rounds in the magazine, and 15, as you see right here, were in the center body mass, about the size of a paper plate. And that was just very good accuracy for me. I'm just normally not that good. Just to kind of put things in perspective, no one's ever taught me how to properly shoot a pistol. It's something that I've just been figuring out on my own. And so having a gun like this that is relatively accurate for me is a big plus. A 45 ACP or 10mm doesn't really do me a whole lot of good if I can't consistently be on target. So anyways, not only did I shoot this paper target 15 times, I shot at the steel target 5 times and hit it a couple of times. I still need to get to the range with this and practice with it more. I was shooting the blue and white box with the blue ballistic tip sporting rounds, and they were reliable with this gun. And I bought me some full metal jackets, some Federal full metal jackets, and I bought me some white box lead-free rounds. Those were pretty expensive. And I want to get me some gold dots, because that's a brand that I'm come to trust, mostly through watching YouTube and testing and stuff like that. It just seems to be one of the more consistently well-performing hollow points, so I want to get some of those. I would like to get some of the Black Dragon Fang rounds, but probably not going to get those anytime soon. Some things that I like about it: 1, high capacity; 2, I can hit with it; 3, it has a threaded barrel. I don't need a threaded barrel, but if I ever wanted to get a silencer for my Ruger Mark III, it will also, should theoretically, fit this. So 1 silencer, 2 guns. Some of the things I don't like about it is, 1, the threaded barrel is torqued too tight that I can't field strip it completely right now. I have to get me a box wrench to take that off and loosen it. Something else that I really don't care for is that it's not a toolless takedown. You have to have a punch in order to field strip it. And I just don't like that. I like my handguns, or guns in general, to be toolless field strip. So that's just my own personal, opinion. That's what I like. There's the sights. Really good, very bold. It's lightweight, it's thin, it's pretty easy to rack compared to like a pocket pistol or a CZ75. I've owned a CZ75. Wish I still had it, but I don't. And so it's a cool gun. I really like it, and I also really like this magazine loader. You don't need this to load the magazine, but it just makes things easier. You just pop the bullet in there, press it down, and repeat. You just drop it in there, press, drop it in there, press, and it works. Unfortunately, this round is very expensive. Not quite as expensive as 357 Magnum in recent years, but it's relatively expensive. And I asked my the range master who owns the gun store and owns the range. I was like, "Hey, do you have any cheap 5.7?" And he said, "No, it's a novelty round, and novelty rounds are expensive." Well, I think he doesn't quite understand the definition of novelty. Novelty usually denotes newness, and this round has been around since the 90s, and it's used. It's not quite as proven on the civilian market, but more and more guns are being chambered in this, and I think we'll get some new things, new information coming. But just to tell you how old this round is, if you ever watched or played GoldenEye, James Bond GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, the RCP-90 uses this round, and so it has some ages on it, or it has some age on it, and it's a NATO round, so I don't think NATO would adopt it if it wasn't effective. Something that also kind of disappoints me is that this is optics ready, but it doesn't fit my optic. Now, this is just the optic that I own, and this is a SMSC, and I thought this was the footprint for the SMSC compact. I could be wrong, but I just had a good feeling that this was going to fit, and it doesn't fit, and it disappointed me. But other than that, this gun is I can really see this being my carry gun. It's a little bit big for a concealed carry gun, but I'll wait until some good holsters come out before I make that decision. But right now, the only really holster you could probably get for it is one of those universal loop holsters that'll just basically a piece of leather like that has an open bottom that you stick in there. I'd like to see some kydex and stuff being made for this, and I'd really like to be able to conceal carry this. I'm really excited about shooting this gun again. It's just a very pleasant gun to shoot, and it points well for me. So that's it. That's the video. Hope you enjoy it. I'm Asatsu5, and I'm out.